I'm behind this big server.
What? What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because today we're talking about getting a grip with your IT.
Joe, they can't see you.
I know they can't because the damn server's too big.
Yes.
This is a server.
I've never seen a server before.
Now you have, and it sits in a rack.
Yes.
All these metal racks that if you were to walk into a data center from Microsoft or Amazon or Google, you would just see, as far as the eye can see, all of things like this in a rack. Just endless. It's endless hardware running. And that is what powers our cloud-first world now. So everything you save to iCloud, everything you save to OneDrive, everything you use on the internet is all run by these massive
What happens?
data centers.
What happens? Yeah.
Well, there's enough redundancy in them that if one of them were to die, like somebody gets an alert, it gets replaced, and then everything starts running again. So it's very redundant because it's like geographically redundant. It's redundant
So if a bomb went off over in New Carlisle, we'd still be fine?
You'd be fine, basically. You might see a blip, but you'd be fine. But what wouldn't be fine is if you have one of these sitting in basement, the closet, wherever in your office that no one talks or touches or goes in or says, no, that's where the server is. Like you don't, and no one talks about it. Well, that's a ticking time bomb. Because there is zero reason in today's world that a small or medium business would have one of these in your office or in a location.
Really?
Yes, really. There's no reason for it anymore. We're past that.
Okay.
We're past that because we have these.
Why?
Because we have the internet and these massive data centers everywhere that no little company or medium company or even medium to large company can spend the amount of money to keep it safe and protected and have a fallback when you have a company like Microsoft that spends billions upon billions of dollars in hardware, security, redundancy, etc.
How does this work? I mean, if all of a sudden, why don't you have to spend the money?
Because you're spending it through like your subscription, right? So your subscription to Microsoft 365 or your subscription to Google or when you buy a new iPhone and they want you to use
the cloud.
iCloud to back up everything and then pay for more storage on iCloud to back up everything. So that's what our world is today, is that,
So having one of these is duplicating what you're already paying for.
Yes, because you're already paying for it. There is no need to have this physical equipment in your building.
And you would be paying more for the physical equipment than you're already paying.
Because you've got to pay for someone to maintain this. You've got to pay for someone to back it up. You've got to pay for someone, then this could be all the same person, but you've got to pay to make sure that the backups work. You've got to pay to make sure that there's no, the virus thing or the machine doesn't get compromised. You've got to pay for it to keep it up to date.
But it's already up to date over there?
Yeah, because Microsoft's doing that, Google's doing that, Apple's doing that, Amazon's doing that. They're doing that all for you.
What if they decided not to?
Then we wouldn't have the internet anymore because everything is stored now in like our
up there,
wherever that is up there in the cloud. Everything is stored there. So this is a relic now.
But everybody's still using it.
Well, there's a lot of people that are still have that physical server in their office or building, and that's not a thing anymore. It's not a thing anymore.
So they just don't know how things have advanced?
Or they're choosing to say, well, we've always had a server and we've always had it this way.
Oh, we've always done it this way? That song?
That song, correct. And so it's just it could be an education thing, it could be a resistance thing, it could be just that this is how we've done it and I don't want to change.
Yeah, right.
But since your company data is your biggest asset, and we've talked about this in previous videos, your data is your most valuable asset. This is a ticking time bomb.
Why is it a time bomb?
It's a time bomb
I
because
mean, it's soaking up your money, I get that.
well, and also because any small or medium company cannot throw the resources at keeping physical hardware running like a Microsoft can, or a Google can, or an Amazon can. It's a point of failure because it's a mechanical object at its heart, and it's gonna fail. And it's gonna fail at the worst possible time, and then there'll be more. It'll be, oh, well, we thought everything was getting backed up, and then it wasn't. Or, oh, we thought that everything was working fine, and then it wasn't. So
So we have to in a sense, trust the big guys.
we have to trust the big guys, but they put so much money into it that honestly, there isn't. As much as we may or may not like the big guys, that's what it is now, and that's what we do, and that's it, because they can throw the resources at it, and as long as you pay your subscription, then yeah, you're fine. If you don't pay your subscription, well, that's a different story and a different problem. But as long as you pay your monthly bill, then they're doing everything for you, even down to the smallest Microsoft subscription, which is $72 a year. You are getting the same level of service as the big guys, even for $72 a year. Now, it's not that simple, but it is that simple in the fact that because you're just sitting on some random server in some random Microsoft data center or Google data center or whatever, and everything's getting backed up and protected, and they're running everything way better than you can. Honestly.
Yes, that's true.
They're running it way better than you could. And if something were to happen and that data center got, bombed, then there's a geographical copy someplace else, and it just picks up the slack. So this thing going out, this is a absolute interruption to your day-to-day, and your business could be stopped dead for days if this thing stops working. Why go through that risk? Why go through the chaos and the extra hassle and all that? For what? And why go through the extra expense?
So tell me this, if you have Microsoft Teams and you have this,
You're duplicating effort on a thing that is not secure anymore, and you have to pay someone to maintain for whatever reason, when you can have it on. And the other part of it too is that it's locked away to your building. So unless you set up a way to access this thing in your building separately, once you leave the four walls, there's no access. As opposed to like Teams or another cloud-focused service, it's accessible everywhere.
yes.
Any device, any computer, any phone, any device, anywhere, it can all be accessed wherever you're at.
This is amazing.
This is, and it's funny that this
People are hanging
thing,
on to that
they're hanging
because it's
on.
a physical thing.
They're hanging on, and there's no reason to anymore. It's not our world anymore. I remember having to maintain things like this and having it in an on-premise, like server room, closet room, basement, whatever, for the longest time. But that's not our world anymore.
I'm so glad you're in my life.
Well, I'm happy to get to bring my prop.
Yes.
And
Oh my God.
my prop of a server, and there are ones much bigger than this. This is actually quite small. But the principle is the same. If you have something in your office or business or building that all your files are getting stored to, that is just a red flag beyond belief.
Yeah.
And that is a time bomb waiting to happen.
Because if that fails, you lose everything.
You could, if your backups are crap, which in a lot of cases they probably are, and then that's it.
Ooh, if this doesn't strike the fear of God in everyone, I don't know what will.
I don't either, because it's a very scary. It's a very scary thing that you're like hanging on, or the fact that even in the year 2025 we're still recommending that people put a server in their office is unreal to me. When you have, all these online services and of course I'm partial to Microsoft because I sell the Microsoft systems. You have Teams, you have OneDrive, you have all of that. Nothing, this is like, having the stone wheels on the car, and then the wheel's not even round yet; it's still square. That's what this is now. So yeah, that's the whole thing of.
And so what should people do to get a grip?
They need to get a grip by having like that really, really, really tough discussion with their provider of no, like, why are you having me do this still? And plus, what is this cost that I'm paying for what? Like if I can get all this from Microsoft and they're doing all the work, or I can get this from Google and they're doing all the work, why do I have this in my building that you are charging me per month?
What am I getting?
What am I getting that they're not providing?
There you
What?
go. That's
What
the
am I?
magic
Yeah.
question.
What am I getting? So yeah, don't do it. That's the answer. Don't do it. Thank you, Susie.
Always good to be with you, Joe.
I will now retire behind my server.
See you next time.